Welcome back, everybody. LANCESCURV here. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be on African soil. I was up from 4 o'clock this morning, my usual wake-up time. So if I look a little sleepy, then please excuse me. I feel good today. I feel real good. I'm gaining momentum with the creativity, with the ideas, just doing the things that I do that I love to do as a hobby. And I just can't believe right now the life that I'm living. That's a figure of speech because I knew that I would get to this point. So it's a knowing. It's not really believing. I can't believe. Yeah, it was the plan. Today, I want to address something that I feel is very, very, very important. There's a lot of people who have mixed feelings about Africa. I happen to be in Ghana right now, as you well know, and if you didn't know, now you know. It's been a journey. And I have to say that it bedazzles me when I hear the things that I hear about the motherland, as we call it. There are many videos that are being made putting down Africa. There are many videos and written blogs being made basically saying how bad it is here, how bad the people are here, how we don't belong here, how Africans who are here hate us, despise us, see us as money trees. When you deal with human nature, you're going to get a variety of interactions. People are like chemicals. When you put chemical A with chemical B, you're going to get a certain reaction. If you put chemical A with chemical C, you might get an explosion. So what we've got to take into consideration is that everyone is going to have a different experience. Everyone is going to have a different bit of feedback for you, and it's their experience, and it is 100% accurate according to them from where they stand. So you can't take it as gospel when someone says, I'm euphoric in the motherland and everything's perfect. Just the same way you can't take it to heart or as gospel when someone says, this is the worst place on the planet Earth. Let me tuck my napkin here for a second. That was going to use to wipe my face. The sun is so bright. I love it. There was so much rain here, and everything's growing so fast. I have many seeds to plant, and I hope this doesn't knock out the sound, so I'm going to hold it deeper into my fist and hold my mouth closer. But like I was saying, you're going to get different reactions because people are different. People had different expectations. People have different backgrounds. People are flavored by their experiences. Many think from the experiences that they've had, the sum total of them all, and they assess and judge two different things according to those experiences. Now I'm going to ask you to open up your mind a little bit at the possibilities of this one place called Africa, and I happen to be in Ghana, and I'm going to say Ghana, but I'm really speaking on many other countries on the continent of Africa, which many don't even seem to understand. This is a big place. There are many governments here in each of the countries that run their countries similar, and others run it different. That being said, let me tap my screen so it doesn't black out. So I have to keep myself centered. Every now and then I'll do that. That being said, you're guaranteed to have a different experience. Even when you have a great experience in one place, something else may rub you the wrong way. But one thing I cannot stay silent about is the fact that I'm getting along just fine here. Nobody's paying me to say this. I'm not part of any agenda. I don't have a movement or a group behind me to push the motherland as the epitome of existence. But then again, you have certain groups, certain influential thought producers and social media influencers that their whole game and hustle is to come against those who live here and who are born here in Africa and in the Caribbean. What is that? Oh, those are two lizards, but they're multicolored in the way they were chasing each other. I'm like, what is that? The other day I saw a grass cutter running through the yard, and he ran right up under my gate. It looked eerie. It's like he was floating. But these people, I feel, most of them influence many against the possibility of living here or doing business here. And I'm like, 10, 15 years ago, they were a pimp. Speaking about the pimp mentality and the pimp game. But now I guess they've been recruited by those who can grease their palms and convince them that we need to go against all folks who are thinking of leaving America. Coming to Ghana is not going to be easy. Even if you had millions of dollars, it might help it to be a bit easier because of the process of transitioning and buying property and getting the things that you want. Yes, it will insulate you. Don't come here without a plan. Don't come here without an income. I'm retired. Social Security is coming around for me soon with my pension. I'm good. That's not just it, though. Because there are many who come here who are financially backed by Social Security or a pension or a business or an online business or just something they inherited that would sustain them for the rest of their lives. It's still not going to isolate you from having to deal with human nature, which is the same all over the world. You will have jealousy. You will have envy. You will have people who don't like your light. You'll have people who see you as a money tree. This is everywhere. Isn't it the same in America? Let's talk about expectations. Many felt that when the year of return came, 2019, which I came, that this was an escape from the mass shootings. This was an escape from the jobs that didn't want to pay you well and treated you bad. This is an escape from the pressure and the stress of working harder and harder and getting less and less, never having time for family, never having what they would say was the American dream, which for many is the American nightmare. So when that possibility came up and you found that things may have been more affordable here, that there was a country that welcomed you, that wanted you to come here, many people said, wait a second, and the people look like me? Let me cash out of America and let me come. That's what we did. I went through many obstacles here. Not through the ones who are already here, right? But we know how that story goes. So you never know where you're going to get your adversarial energies that were harbored for so long, that didn't really like you, that were envious of you, wanted to be you and destroy you at the same time. It's not always those who are already here. But like the phoenix, we rise from the ashes. Because when you play your hand with me, no matter who it is, Whether it's somebody from Africa, America, Jamaica, or Canada. You don't have to smack me twice. I know how to defend myself. And you cease to exist. Life is good. For me. So am I advocating that everyone who makes the move to come here and live is just going to have this euphoric experience? Possibly. But I'm going to tell you, that depends on you. You cannot come here and expect this place to make you happy when you're not happy, when you're unhappy, when you have toxicities inside of you that need to be exorcised. Don't come here with that expectation, because the same sun that shines on me is the same sun that wherever you are, it shines on you. Plants grow behind me. Papaya trees, mango trees, pineapples, all types of stuff, just like anywhere else. I'm on the equator, 0 latitude and 0 longitude. It's beautiful for me because you know why? My happiness comes from within. I didn't come here expecting this beautiful place to make me happy, because you can put me anywhere on the planet and I will adjust, because it comes from within and I know how I like to live. Expectations will get you in trouble. When you expect that you're going to get away from this and get away from that. Yeah, there were expectations of me getting away from certain stresses. Of course. But I had a plan on a financial level, on a spiritual level, emotional level, mental level, because what? At 61 years old, I have been with myself for 61 years, plus 9 months, right? In the womb. So I think I kind of know myself. In the same way that I'm brutally honest with you, it's the same way that I'm brutally honest with myself, even with all my existing flaws and demons that I have to fight every day, like we all have on this level. I ain't perfect. But I tell you one thing. Even with the things that I have to work on and exercise and struggle with every single day like anybody else, I know how to live, and I know myself, and I know what I want. You see, many will talk about the people here, how they will rip you off, how they will use you and charge you more money for something that costs far less. That has happened to me. It happens a lot if you let it. Now, this whole thing about Africans hating Americans, it's not really hate. They see us as privileged. They're on the so-called smartphone, which makes everybody dumb. They go to look at, in America, what they want to see. They don't really notice the homelessness that's displayed so much on social media, the drug addiction, the crime, the mass shootings, the jobs that don't pay well, the people who live there complaining on the cost of living. They don't see that. Magically, they see only money, and they see advantage. And so when you come here, this is what they see, because they have been brainwashed. They have not been exposed to the full range that most people who are coming here are not wealthy. They're not even rich. There's a difference between being rich and wealthy. You hit the lottery, you might get rich, but wealth goes over generations. So whether you are rich or wealthy, it doesn't matter, because you have your experiences to draw from that's going to help you form an opinion of the motherland, of Ghana, or whatever country you're in, and your influences. So, that being said, many people are not looking to keep themselves happy or bring themselves happy. It's like the analogy that I use with a person who's leaving a roach-infested apartment and they're moving into a new apartment or a new house that they feel is roach-free, and it is. And they're so happy to arrive at this new place that's so clean. But guess what? After about 2 or 3 days of unpacking their boxes, they begin to see lots of roaches. And why is that? It's because they brought the roaches with them. So if you have envy, if you have a sense of superiority over others, if you are jealous, if you're anxious, if you're just frustrated, if you got to be exorcised of your demons from within, well, guess what? Africa didn't do that to you. Now see, the whole money thing, they're trying to hustle us. All they see us for is money. It's no different than that man who sees a well-shaped woman in a tight, clinging dress, and all he thinks of is not her character, not her personality, but the adornments that God has blessed her with. And he sees pleasure. So if you dress a certain way, hey, you know, it's not your fault the way you're built, but why provoke it? I've seen many who have come from the West and the UK who sport expensive handbags, jewelry, flashing lots of money, and they get angry when people try to take them for money, right? And we have a bad habit that when we travel anywhere, let's say, for example, I'm going to use the example of what I know with Jamaica. You have many Jamaicans who have moved to America and they're working and doing well. But no matter what kind of job they do, when they go back to Jamaica, they make sure that their hair is done, they have the expensive shoes on, they have the jewelry, they have the designer clothes on. Even if they're in America cleaning toilets, they're going to make sure to show out. But yes, many who are here in Ghana and many who are in different countries in Africa will try to get a little something out of you. Most of the time, they're not going to knock you over the head, but they're going to try to con you or get it out of you because you're privileged. You come from this privileged place that's heaven. And you can't get angry at them any more than something that may happen back home in America or the UK. You know why? Because it's the same Western leaders, the colonial mindset, the colonizer that has messed them up just the way it has messed us up. Africa is one of the most blessed countries on the planet with resources and riches. But who is it that's robbing this place? And yes, there are leaders who are allowing it to happen because their palms are greased realistically. So look at the bigger picture. Look at the picture that they don't tell you, that you'll never see. Connect those dots. It's the same, having us both messed up against each other. And we got to make sure to bridge that gap and have a little more understanding on what's going on here. Because there are people here that live well. There are people here that live in mansions. There are people here, more than you could know, that are millionaires and billionaires. But also, the flip side of the coin is that there are people here who don't even have toilets to do a number 1 or a number 2 in. Some may not have an outdoor shower. That's the picture they paint in the West to keep us from coming here, to keep us from moving here, you see? And we got to stop that. We need direct communication. As far as Africans hating us, I get along just fine. There are a very small percentage of those who have a resentment toward us because of the imagery that's put to their head. But when they realize and get to know us, if we tolerate a little bit of that ignorance and bust through it with understanding, we would understand their plight. Because they are told and they're shown that we are so rich, but are wealthy as a country. But it is not us who are the common black man and black woman who enjoy those riches and wealth that come from the motherland. It's not us. See, many people here don't have the opportunity to purchase a vehicle or a home on credit. So when they look at the TV, the computer, the tablet, or the smartphone on the internet, they see something else. They see young people in their early 20s driving expensive looking cars, purchasing homes so young. Well, they don't realize that it's credit that buys it. That if you miss a couple of payments, if you go through a bank, it might be 3 payments. If you go through a lender, it might be 6 payments. But you're going to get taken away the thing that you purchased, not completely. But they don't understand that. Many who are here, who are struggling in Ghana, if they have a vehicle, they have to pay cash for it. So guess what? It's not going to be the latest brand new Lexus truck. It's not going to be the latest Jaguar. It might be something 10, 15 years old that they're going to use to run for a taxi to make money. And many will live inside the taxi to not have to pay for a room or an apartment. That's not everybody. But when they see you coming out of the airport, just glowing, well-fed, and here it's very hard to not eat. Don't believe that hunger thing. But just understand there's a full range of people here. And some are doing well, and some are just trying to make ends meet. So if they see you and they are hungry because of temporary circumstances, because there's stuff growing all over the place, but just like in other places in the world, like even in Jamaica, they're trying to coax the people to move from the country down into the city, down into Kingston, down into Montego Bay, and lure them away from their food source. Now they have to work a job to buy food that grew freely. And this is the same thing that's going on over here. The educational system, there's a lot to be desired, put it that way. They're not empowering people in the educational system here to be leaders, to be conquerors, to understand what's underfoot as far as the minerals and the resources and all that's growing here. In my backyard, I have a supermarket. Everything is there. People talk about Whole Foods market, and you have to pay all this money. Usually it's subpar. But here, I can go in the back and pick off what I want, not touched by any human hands except Mrs. SCURV or me. How about that? But most people don't realize that. You see, you have 2 factions. You have the government and you have the people. The visa, the fees to come here. If they say, hey, you belong here and return home, why are certain things charged if you acknowledge us as being your descendants? And lots of times people get these things mixed up. They get it mixed up because the people don't understand what we have to go through coming here. And they don't understand that end. And they don't understand how government works. They don't understand the collective. They don't understand the process, but they do vote in a very fiery manner. And usually who they vote in does the same thing just like in America. They give you promises, but they never deliver. And then we have the issue of religion, which many claim, whether it's Judaism, Islam, or Christianity. But for all 100% of the people that claim to be that name of that religion, how many, you tell me, how many are really practicing what they preach? So you have alternative things going on in addition to the religion. And from what I see, none of it really works. I'm not going to say 100% it doesn't. I would say 1.5% of the people who are practitioners of other things are effective in it. But at the end of the day, it becomes one big hustle and a money grab. So have a little understanding of the people here. Have an understanding of the culture. Understand how we come off. Understand how we appear to the people here who see the little bit that we have, because I'm not a rich man, I'm not a wealthy man, but the little bit that I have, after working all my life, it seems like a lot, but we know it's not much at all. But to them, yes it is. Yes it is. So I'm so tired of the propaganda that's put out here on social media, putting down Africa, hiding the flaws of America, making it seem like America's the perfect place. And I feel a lot hurt for my people who are left back in America, who have to see these migrants brought in, passing through the borders freely, given money, given apartments, given credit, given food, when those of us who built the country don't get anything at all. And we are some of the hardest working people on the face of the earth. Don't believe what you see as far as us shucking and jiving and just wanting to be pimps and hookers and hoes and con men. Yes, we do have those. America has created us and morphed us into being something very ugly outside of the image of God that we are supposed to be. But they don't want to see that part. They push other things on us. And guess what? Those here in the motherland may have that impression, because that's the imagery that's put out of us. Memorandum 46. Google it. You'll see it. I even have it on LANCESCURV.com. Go to the search box for old posts and put in Memorandum 46. Now, Memorandum 46, some people say it's fake. Some people say it's real. But it's just like the Willie Lynch letter. Some people say it's fake. Some people say it's real. But guess what? It's true. It's so true. Just like the Willie Lynch letter. Memorandum 46 basically is a document that they say was, I believe, produced by the government, and it wasn't supposed to get out to the public, but it was between agencies, an interagency communication. And somehow it got out. But it's so true what they say. The goal of Memorandum 46 is to keep those African descendants, black melanated people, separated from those here in the motherland. And they're going to use propaganda. Oh, and they're doing it so good now. They didn't have the internet back then and available to so many people. They wanted to put out false propaganda. They wanted to keep it where we're separate, because they did not want the mind of the black man and woman. When I say man, I mean woman also too. The black man and woman of America and the West, with what they've learned, to bring that intelligence and bring back that help back to the motherland for people who may not know. And we have some brilliant brothers and sisters here. But they didn't want to bridge that gap. You see, this is why many of our children and many of us as grown adults will say, I have nothing to do with Africa. But I bet you if some white man came and told many of these black folks who say that there's a wonderful business opportunity in Italy. Are they spider making webs on my face? Have I been here that long? Oh, there's a opportunity in Italy that if we go there and live, there's a business that we can do there. But if I said the same thing about the motherland, right? Oh, I don't want to go there. I have nothing to do with Africa. I have nothing. I'm not African. I'm American. You see? Which, technically, I am an American. I'm not delusional. I'm an American African. My name is LANCESCURV, or LANCESCURVin, government name. I'm not a Scurvin Lance. I'm a LANCESCURVin. So that last name connects you to the family, other Scurvins. So my name is Lance. So if I say African American, a place that I've never felt at home, a place where I was never accepted, a place where I had to swim upstream to deal with this thing called racism. Now I find a place that, even though there are obstacles in coming here, and there's a difference in culture, there's a difference in food, mindset, and mentality, to me, it's been very peaceful. I don't have to worry about racist white cops coming at me. I don't have to worry about all of these shootings and killings from the frustration of people who are living in this place that's nothing but one big stress machine. always keeping you on edge. You turn on the nightly news, you can't even get good news. It's always something to keep you tense. They seduce you with the lust for material goods, that you have to get the new car. You just bought the car last year. Now you want to get the new model because it has a slightly different shape. I'm due to get a vehicle next year on my budget, on my financial plan. And when I do, it's something that I'm going to try to keep for the rest of my life. Now I'm 61. If I keep it for 20 years, I'll be 81. Will I still be driving? I hope to have my faculties then. Maybe I'll get something else. But I'm not changing and getting another vehicle every single year that comes. I'm not trying to be financially strapped. And that's one of the reasons why I came here, because I had the goal of getting out of that mortgage and the high taxes, and really and truly, I'm debt free. And it feels so good. So that makes me even more, as they say, stingy. More to maintain this financial status. Yes, I couldn't pull out of the bank right now $20,000. I couldn't. Not even 10, not even 5. But I feel better than having $500,000 in the bank, and I have every year $600,000 worth of bills to pay. What good is that? It's not how much you have, what you make. It's what you don't spend. So there was an opportunity, if that only put me at ease even more. And I think back to the overtime that I would work, and I've fallen asleep, and I got to work more hours, and I want this thing. You want this car so bad, so you work all these extra hours. Now you're on the job with the car in the parking lot, not doing anything for you, but you got to pay for it now. You want to move to a bigger house, you got to pay for it now. You want more things. I got to get that dress. Not me, I'm saying the women do. Don't soundbite me now. I got to get that dress. I got to get that jewelry. I got to make that trip. And where you go on vacation is, guess what? You go to the Caribbean. You come to the motherland. Some of you, but mostly the Caribbean, because nobody wants to really come to Africa because they don't know. They see the hungry kids blasted on the TV screen late at night that they're hungry over here, and everybody lives in mud huts. And they see better when they see some of my videos or some of the others. And guess what? They don't want to hear that. They don't want to see that. It's against what they've been told and want to believe, because they don't want to believe that for all the stress that they go through in America, that there's a place where you can live in peace. So many come here and they don't leave the roaches at the old apartment. They bring their roaches with them. Their toxicities, their idiosyncrasies, they bring these things with them, and it flavors the experience. Chill out. You're in a different country, around a different culture. Yes, genetically we are connected. Don't believe that when they push all these other FBA and ADOS, and yes, we are. I am an American descendant of slavery also. But I'm going to sit there and just wait for somebody to give me a check of reparations when these same people are giving away money to migrants who didn't do anything here in America. If they give out reparations, I'm the first in line. You best believe that. But guess what? I'm not going to sit around for a bus on a bus stop late at night for a bus that never shows up. After a time, you have to say, this bus is not showing up. I got to start walking. So have a better experience by cleansing yourself. Don't expect this place to make you happy. Happiness comes within, and the pursuit of happiness comes with the fact that you know how to live, no matter where you are. I love being quiet. Look at this. I'm quiet. I'm private. This is a compound now. This is a courtyard now. I'm private. I have a yard where I can get lost back there. I haven't left this place in the last 3 or 4 days, and I have no desire to do so. If I want to sleep late, I sleep late. If I want to sit over there under the sun or go in the back or pick some fruit, I can do that. All of the stuff that America gave me is coming out of me. It's coming out of me. And here in the motherland is the perfect place to do so, if you know how to navigate. I was born and raised in New York City. There's nothing that I haven't seen, and there's much that I've done. Never did crime, never did drugs, nothing of that. But other than that, I can tell you some stories. But right now, this is the best life. But you do have people who are here, who are born here, and people who have come here who want to know how you're making it, especially the ones that come here and they know of you. How is he building that big house? Where is he getting his money from? Why is he antisocial for what? Did I come out here to mix with people who are nosy and gossipy and want to be in your business and want to spread gossip about you? No. And I'm determined to maintain my privacy. I'm determined to maintain my happiness. And just like in boxing, when they say protect yourself at all times, I say protect your happiness at all times. And as long as you do that, no matter where you go, you will be happy. But I choose to, as a child of the Most High, of the God, of the Creator, whatever you want to call him, the whole planet is Africa. And I am the original, just like many of you are. I'm not relegated to the artificial borders of what a cave beast drew in the sand and wants to work us to death for his benefit. Don't be mad at those who are victims of the same oppressor in a different way, those who are born and raised here in Africa. Be mad at the common oppressor and join on with all who are melanated and stop this foolishness of saying, well, you're an American and this one's Jamaican and this one is from this country, Nigeria and Ghana, and they separate us. We are global. It's not even a national thing, a nationalistic thing. We are global. We are one family. But just like Memorandum 46 wants to stop us from understanding, and the Willie Lynch letter wants to stop us from understanding, they'll keep us separate, and we'll never unify as long as we bow down to their gods, go to their schools, listen to their foolishness, and look to them for guidance when guidance comes from the inside, from the God inside of you. And if you don't understand this, I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm where I am, and I'm very happy. And if you don't think that way, if you don't speak an ideology that brings about unity, like I said, we have a lot of knuckleheads and pimps and lip gloss wearing people and all these crazy people who want to argue on social media that's government sponsored. They're designated to keep us separated by the ideologies and making it seem like you're from this country and that country. No. Are you not still related? If you live in Chicago on the South Side, I'm from New York City, but I've been to Chicago several times. And one person moves to the west side out of your family, a brother. And a sister moves over to the east side, and another one moves over to the north side. Now, I don't know the exact neighborhoods to say, but are you not still related? You're not related because your sister moved to the north? And through slavery, many of us, and some on our own will, we left the motherland. But for those who were forced, right? Are we not related? Just because we now built a new country and have a different mindset and developed culture which is engineered to work against us now. We had hip-hop, but they engineered it against us from the 1990s. Gangster rap and hoes and short skirts and breasts out and now the rainbow agenda's pushed into that. We just follow like the mummy. We follow like Frankenstein, just walking around behind what they throw out like crumbs, breadcrumbs for the birds. We need to have a unified mind, an independent mind, and a mind that perpetuates our upliftment and our ascension globally. Listening to these clowns on YouTube who get you so emotional, ain't putting no money in your pocket, ain't giving you peace of mind, it ain't giving you none of that. I have more to say on this, but I'm going to leave you at that. I thought I was going to talk for 5 or 10 minutes, but guess what? I'm always running my mouth. If you appreciate what I said or understand it, even if you don't agree with it, leave a comment. Let's talk about it. Intelligent comments. Not this stupid foolishness where you're pointing out some YouTube influencer who's a government agent and they put this stuff in your head and you're talking bad about a place that you've never been to. I am here and I'm living And I'll just say it, I'm living damn well. And I'm not a millionaire. And I'll say this to the haters of those who come here, living good is the best revenge. I can't help it if you're angry. Doesn't mean you have to come to Africa, but have a connection here. There's so many businesses to get into and to attach yourself to. When you look at those people who had a problem with Kanye West, I think if I say that word, they're gonna flag the video. No matter where they are in the world, even if they never touch foot in that land that is basically stolen. They have an interest in that land. And they read the papers and make sure that that land gets the best where it houses their people. I'm not going to argue about the history of it because most of us know it already. The truth is out and they know it. But why can't we be the same way? Why can't we? There's something in our mind that keeps us against one of the biggest opportunities in our lifetime. You don't have to live here, but have an interest. And I believe that if you approach it the right way, you'll be glad that you did. I know I have. I've never been so peaceful in my life. Anyway, much love to you all. LANCESCURV out. Like, share, and subscribe. Join the membership page. The link is up top and should be in the chat room or wherever down at the bottom. It's all over the place where I drop videos that I don't drop on the main page. It's separate for the members, like all kind of perks. Anyway, I've talked enough. I'm waiting to hear your comments. LANCESCURV out. Peace.
Make sure to go to LANCESCURV.com, an online magazine established in 2001. Containing written articles, thousands of talk shows and discussions, cutting-edge cartoons, as well as erotic expressions and tasteful adult photography. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. Once you get a taste of the world of LANCESCURV, trust me, you'll be back for more. LANCESCURV.com. Bold, raw, and uncut.
So, my friend, take it for what it's worth. Your heaven and your hell is right here on this earth.